Okay, welcome. So I'm Dylan, I'm your host today, and I'm going to go over some of the innovative, creative pieces of the industry that I saw at AEC Next. So let's just dig right into it. A few big themes that were at AEC Next this year. Obviously, you can see all the exhibitors, but so AEC Next is also co-located with SPAR 3D, which for the SPAR side of things is more the 3D scanning, point clouds, devices, that type of thing. And what that brings is really the two sides, the architecture engineers as well as the scanning 3D piece of the industry. So by having both of them, while there are different applications, it does create some synergies between the two. I'm going to showcase a few companies that I thought were doing some pretty interesting things. So we'll dig right into it. One company that I thought was doing some interesting stuff was Visio. So they're one of the HoloLens, and we're going to go through 3 HoloLens applications here. And with Visio, what they were able to do was really create some pretty high quality outputs to the HoloLens. So the Microsoft HoloLens, and I'll actually just bring that up. So Microsoft HoloLens. So we'll bring that up here. So the HoloLens is a device that looks basically like a halo and gives you some augmented reality, right? You can see the real world as well as the virtual world that's being displayed within the HoloLens. So that means you could work on, as is seen here, you could work on a piece of equipment with someone instructing you from somewhere else in the world. Very, very cool applications to this, and we're starting to see those come through in technology. So with Visio, what they were able to do is really create some very high-end mixed reality solutions because of how they were able to effectively come through the computer. So you look at the HoloLens, there's no wires, there's a computer in here, it's all transmitted like wirelessly effectively from a computer to the headset, or the models contained exclusively within the HoloLens. So there's no wires, like the Oculus Rift still has a tether. So you basically have to carry a laptop around with you, or you're connected to a desktop and can't move. Where the HoloLens really has this freedom of mobility, which is different than a lot of other pieces. So the HoloLens is really a breakthrough technology that Microsoft's been working on for the last 10 years. So I say breakthrough, and it's taken 10 years for them to really get it to where it is now, and they're just developing or releasing the second iteration. So Visio is able to really do some high quality outputs, higher quality than I saw out of anyone else. So really their technology is enabling more real-time collaboration, doing basically very, very high-end outputs. So this is kind of their architecture, where their piece, their cloud effectively is able to take in whether it's your BIM model, your LiDAR, point clouds basically, or anything else, and input them into their system, and then that outputs here. Or if you don't have a immersive piece, right, so the HoloLens or some other VR headset, you can use a tablet or a phone, which for a lot of users this might work really well. So it still allows them to get into the experience for like a director level in your company, somebody that is really adverse to this type of technology, right, adverse to the HoloLens, but would be really well based into the using their phone or tablet to view something in 3 dimensions. So that was Visio, really using a cloud-based solution to then output to it so they can do their thing and really run through all that data. Because you're going to have million, if not billion points, depending on how big your scans are. So you really need something to crunch that data to output it to HoloLens. So this is really like on the higher end of really data crunching. So they have really good applications, but for them, and where I see it, is just it's a very high definition rendering, and you still need to come up with your own applications and how you view stuff. So if you just want to view things for like remote meetings or anything else, this is a great solution. How else I see that is, I mean, you're going to come up with your own workflows. So the next application we're going to talk about, staying here on the HoloLens, is this Visual Live. So company Visual Live, and they take the HoloLens out into the field. So because the HoloLens has a self-contained computer effectively in it, you're able to walk out into a field. They have these little squares that you can put down to mark a point within a building. So say you're on a third floor of a high-rise, you can take the BIM model, align the BIM model to basically where you are in real life, and then overlay all that stuff. So say that just the floors columns are up. So you're on a concrete floor, you see all the concrete columns, and you see the concrete floor above you, right? They haven't really roughed anything else in. So now you're taking effectively all the rest of the model, MEP solution, architecture, and putting it in, and now you're able to really look at effectively what's going to be there, and you can do it on site. So really cool how that works and how that overlays. So you can see some of these preview little videos here, and kind of what they're walking through. So they're able to see this in real life. That's the barcode piece I was talking about to place the model, right? So if you're just looking at a pump room, obviously this is a small selection, and that is exactly what you would see in HoloLens. So you'd see it sitting there, and I did experience this for myself. So very, very cool application, and that you're seeing it on top of something that where it would actually be in real life. So you'd have to again model all these pieces, but it does provide a greater level of detail, a greater level of understanding. Is this actually what we want? Do these pieces line up? Was it modeled correctly? So pretty cool, and how this works and setting pieces. So and again, that was exactly what I saw when I used it at AEC Next. So really, this is a straight application. We know exactly what this does and how it works. They have node sketching tools, and if you're not comfortable again using the HoloLens, you can use an iPad or a phone, and then mark up in there. So again, it's really, I see the biggest thing is in this QA QC process, punch lists, those types of things is really where I see the video or the value of Visual Live's HoloLens application. So they're taking all the, whether it's SketchUp or Revit, Navisworks, OBJ, FBX models, and pushing it through here, and they use a compression algorithm so it actually fits on the HoloLens. So really cool application, a direct use case, very straightforward, which I like. It's simple, you know what they do, versus trying to do something else. So another BIM to HoloLens user was Trimble. So here's a little video from Trimble. They put it on actual construction workers, as you can see here. I'll hop to this one. So you can see it here, right? And this is what they were seeing. I didn't actually get to test Trimble's. I put it on, but the guy before me messed it up, and I didn't get a chance to come back after they reset everything. So, but from the few pieces I did see, it is high quality. You do, pinch to zoom, as they'll show you here. And I like how they integrate it to the helmets. And again, everyone's like, wow. So let's do. We'll go back here. So this is the first time everybody tried it on, and that is how you interface with it. Is you're zooming, you're pinching, you're doing everything with your hands. There are some voice commands. So this is how you interact with those models in 3D, and it's fairly intuitive. So Trimble did a good job in that aspect of it, as well as HoloLens. and Trimble did announce with Microsoft what they were doing. So very cool aspects here. So really, you've got three, big. Well, Trimble being the biggest, but AEC or Visual Live was a direct example of what can be done. Trimble, as we know, Trimble is touching so many pieces throughout the construction industry that they have a lot of applications that they can push to it for their construction solutions, as well as all their scanning and visual equipment that they have on site, as you see here, like their remote expert. You can do all these pieces, but it's really their mixed reality applications to combine with their other scanning equipment. So great add-on if you're already a Trimble customer or using some of their pieces. And again, Trimble's primarily for the construction side, not necessarily the design side of things. But you can see the simple, easy applications here. Switching gears a little bit, I sat in on a presentation talking about how to effectively create more value for your customers. So this was an architect from Steinberg Hart Architects in San Jose that in 2009-10 they needed a way to effectively create more value for their customers to hire them for master planning solutions. And one of the ways they did that was through custodial planning, which sounds maybe a little silly, maybe a little off, but the real value is so clear to the end users, right, to your owners. So he was doing master plannings for community college school systems in California, and they have a lot of data in a simple database, so he could pull a lot of that information very quickly to do these takeoffs and even do it live with the client. So very, very cool application, and it has a direct effect to the bottom line. So it's a software tool that allows you to do custodial planning. So basically, based on the number of square footage and industry estimates of how much it takes, how long it takes to clean a given square footage, how much product you need, all those pieces. Now you can put a cost to the square footage in cleaning, which is very, very cool. Now, do you need to hire an extra custodian because you added 2,000 square feet onto the building, right? That 2,000 square feet is going to be cleaned in a given evening so that everybody's ready for the next day. So now you need to add a person. Now that has extra cleaning costs. Now you have more HR duties behind that. And again, very, very direct cost association with that, which I thought was really cool. So that's the custodial planning, quality inspections, supply inventory, and then the other one is space utilization. So this is really effectively for community colleges, universities. It could be for high schools as well. But say that you're not utilizing spaces very well, that there's some openings, within a calendar that, if you swapped around a few more things, that you could effectively, go from a 100,000 square foot building to an 80,000 square foot building just by planning your scheduling a little better. And they take all basically plug in the scheduling from the university to all the rooms, and then they can create these heat maps within it to determine, hey, this is well utilized, this is not, you're really never using this room. So very cool metrics to effectively let you know how good or bad you're doing in your space utilization. So what they're able to do is, again, they're pulling a lot of this data and information from already existing databases that exist for the California community colleges across the state, which not everyone has access to that data, but if you did, these are the type of things that you can do with it. So again, just another way to create value. They want a ton of master planning projects because of this seemingly simple tool, but created tremendous value for their owners. The next one is BIMstorm. So they were in the same presentation, two different companies, different owners, and this I thought was really great for architects to do simple, quick planning sessions with clients. So what this amounts to is, I clicked on the healthcare one, we come here, and they have these BIM models effectively that now outline what a training room looks like, what a classroom for 75 people looks like, right? And you keep going down, what a dental office, all these room types, what they look like, how they're laid out, and just some basic starting blocks. So then you can apply these. Say you want 3 of those, you need 1 treatment room, we don't need any of those. Let's say you want an all-call room, you need a day room, you want a lobby, nourishment center. You go through and you pick all these pieces, you go to your cart, and then you effectively check them out. It'll be sent to an email, which I'll just put in one here. It's going to be sent to my email. Let me pull it over. So it'll be sent to my email. It'll take a minute to actually build all of this. And then, alright, so it did that. It's going to email me a link here. And it's building it. Load the floor plan, and again you can see how quick this is. So right now you have a lobby, you've got an on-call room, and then you can easily, if I can, component. So it'll allow you to click on it, and oops, this is my first time actually playing with it. So you can, you should be able to move these around. This is my first time playing with it, so haven't actually figured out how to move these pieces, but we'll gives you a good, at least, idea of how quickly you can basically plop these little parts pieces. And it might be just because I haven't paid for it that it won't let me do it. But anyway, you can export these out. It gives you a simple way to view these as blocks, and then you should be able to move them. Not sure why it's not working, but anyway, you're able to then zoom in. Hey, is this what you want in this? Right? Click on a given piece, and hey, here's your table. That's just the space. So anyway, cool in the layout. There's probably something I'm missing here, as this is my first time actually opening their models. But theory, very cool. Easy way to lay out exam treatment rooms, and then you can update them, export them here to BIM or to your Revit models, and then you effectively did it SD in maybe a couple hours. You do this as a design charrette, and works very well. So that was really my big takeaway. The other one that I thought was pretty cool that was next to me was a company called Reconstruct. And Reconstruct, here we go. So Reconstruct, they did this visual command center, which was kind of interesting in how they did it, but the cooler thing that I really liked was they effectively took a camera, like a 3D camera, and then were able to recreate the point clouds. So there's some of this, they're getting drone footage, those pieces. They have a scheduling tool that's built into it, which was pretty neat, a little more in-depth than others out there, and how they went about 3D reality capture. I'm not sure if this video covers it, but again, here you have all your scheduling pieces, if it's on schedule, delayed, and it gives you all the color coding associated with it. It's always nice when you get some color coding pieces. But the simple thing about this and how they created a lot of this, granted you're not going to always get that from the outside, but from the inside, you could walk around with a simple like Garmin 3D camera, and from the video they were able to recreate a point cloud. So really cool technology and how they were able to do that. So I again thought this was pretty cool. Obviously they got some customers, but this is some of the stuff about them. So again, simple schematic design layouts from BIMstorm. What this is BIMstorm, and then you can, they have all these different templates that you can do that we kind of walk through. So pretty easy. Fox, which did janitorial, custodial planning, supply inventory, space utilization, very great tool and a way that they added value. Then you can look at Trimble, their HoloLens applications for the field. Visual Live did a very similar thing. And you're probably wondering on cost. So if we go back up here, so Trimble, it's $47.50 for their software with the HoloLens. So the HoloLens itself, I think, is like $3,500 if I looked at the pricing for the HoloLens 2. You get a pricing here. So maybe not the cheapest solution, but yeah, $3,500 per device. And then, if you want some other pieces, then it's your monthly fees associated with it. So Visual Live, their pricing. So after you buy the HoloLens or your own devices, it's $100 a month to have these, projects sync and everything else. So I think this is a pretty good deal to be able to, be on site for $100 a month once you, buy the HoloLens. So very, very cool on that piece. And then you go back to Arvisio, and again, high def. I'm not sure what their pricing is. I didn't really get it from them. So you might have to actually go more in depth with them on what their pricing is. So those are really the big takeaways. There's a ton of 3D scanning going on. There's a ton of applications pulling that, whether that's scheduling for construction. Big data was really the kind of unifying theme of the conference. So whether you're pulling data in from point clouds, 3D scans, video, what have you, now what are you going to do with that data? That's really where some of this stuff with BIMstorm or Fox came in, and some of this Onuma system, where they were able to really make pretty intellectual conversations about something else. Another thing that they were doing is this thing called SEPs to BIM, and this was pretty cool. So they, in conjunction with the VA hospital, they effectively, this is what spun and created all those templates that you saw, and effectively the templates, what goes into each room for their hospitals, so treatment, ORs, waiting rooms, everything else, right? You can see that there's a ton of stuff here from it, and SEPs is space and equipment planning, and really it's just to help facilitate facility planning and do it very quickly. And the VA was monumental in doing this, as well as opening up some of their data systems. And the VA, allowed Onuma as well. So the VA opened up their data, and then Onuma tapped into that to create some of these. You can as well tap into that data, all the effectively Excel tables that the VA now publishes for all of their equipment. So if you're planning a hospital, this is a really great way to start with something like the VA's requirements, and then modify them to be your own. So really cool way. So that's SEPs, S-E-P-S to BIM. You can look into this. The presentation I saw was pretty neat and how they were doing it. So again, just like actual actionable data and things that you can do with it. Granted, some of this is big and cumbersome, and it takes a while and a little bit to wrap your head around it. But if you have these templates, these requirements for whether it's for higher education, building, a hospital, an office. Once you plug in that data, then you can get it out. They also had, as we saw here, transportation. So that includes like airports and clearances for like 737s and the differences between airports. So again, actually using data in an actionable output so that you can make better decisions and do it quicker, right? So by doing this process, you're able now to save, let's say, 2, 3, 4 meetings, because you can actually now lay this out, with an owner as they're developing their program. So again, here's a big overview of AEC Next. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.